Why don't we get started here? So as I mentioned, we're very excited to share today how to build a custom Voiceflow interface inside Webflow. I'm joined here with Zac, who is the founder of Southdigital. So some history is we've been working with Zac over the last few months. We've met initially in our Voiceflow community Discord, and we've just been collaborating on how to better integrate Webflow and Voiceflow together. So we've been experimenting on things that we were doing on our own site, and naturally that kind of turned into a discussion of how can we package this up, make this really easy for everyone in the audience today, all our users, to try it themselves and really merge together the Webflow ecosystem with the Voiceflow ecosystem. So yeah, Zac, really excited to pass it over to you if you want to share a quick intro of who you are.
Yeah, hi everybody. So yeah, I'm Zac. I'm from Southdigital. We're a web design, development, and SEO agency. And yeah, like ever since AI has been a thing and released and in the mainstream, I've just been like so curious, probably like a lot of people listening. And yeah, like we started playing around with Voiceflow, seeing what we could do with it. The APIs are amazing and just enabled us to build some really cool stuff. And yeah, like we've just been building ever since. Met the Voiceflow team in London, and we were actually in Toronto last summer, where their head offices are based. And yeah, we're just spitballing ideas and built some really cool stuff. And over the last couple of months, been looking at how we can get this out into the Webflow community and enable people to build and use some of the cool stuff that we've made.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we even filmed stuff with you in office, which was really awesome. We'd love to, if you want to share more about South Digital, for those in the audience, what kind of services do you offer? You want to share more there?
Yeah, for sure. So we do like new builds. So like complete full service really. So everything from like strategy, copywriting, design, development, like animations, graphics, you can see everything kind of on here. But then we also do on-demand work, which we work more so with the Voiceflow team on. So for existing sites that are wanting to grow, wanting to build new pages, really grow their presence and improve their website. So we don't do like any retainers or anything like that. Everything's completely on demand. So quote by quote. So zero tie-ins, which it's been something that we only recently started doing the last 6 months or so, but we've had like awesome feedback from clients. Because even myself, I think everyone else is so sick of subscriptions after subscriptions. So that's really what we're looking to do different.
Yeah, so if anyone's curious, check out south.digital. I put the link there at the top here, but yeah, definitely get in contact. Another call out is we do have a mini course and free template of everything we're going to be sharing today. So stick to the end as we'll share where you can get access to everything. But we will show you basically from head to toe how to get started with all the clonables to your Webflow project, Voiceflow project, the proxy, and how to do it. Okay, cool. So let's break into the event agenda. Today we're going to cover quite a few things. So first, we're going to chat broadly about AI agents and websites. Just really pick Zac's brain on where he thinks the space is headed, his predictions for how he might see the website world change, and also why he built this project in the first place. From there, we're going straight into the demo. What's exciting is for today's live demo, we'll also be sharing it in the chat so everyone can actually interact and play with it at home. So from there, we will then discuss different use cases and applications of this demo, as well as how it all works and how you can build it for yourself. If you have questions throughout the event, drop them in the Q&A tab, as we'll definitely get around to them and save around 10 minutes to the end to tackle them. Sweet. So without further ado, let's chat AI agents and websites. So Zac, if you want to run us through why you built this project and your whole journey with exploring AI and Webflow.
Yeah, for sure. So probably need to head back a couple of years or maybe like a year and a half or so ago, when we first came across Voiceflow. So we've always run like traditional lead forms for all of our advertising, and came across Voiceflow and thinking, what can we do with this to essentially build some sort of sales agent that can qualify leads, get them booked in for appointments. And we wanted to do so in like in a cool interface, because we're web designers, we're web developers. We want to do something different. So the first thing that we built something on Webflow. Is far worse than what we got right now. But it was a simple chat interface, and it would book someone in for an appointment. So it's hooked into like our backend calendar system, and even like collect their email address and like store that inside like an account for them as well, as we're taking them through like a complete onboarding process, and they can log back into their account and check over their details. So it's essentially like a mini web app which doubled up as a sales agent. And yeah, like we were showing the Voiceflow team and they were super pumped and thinking, hey, how can we do something ourselves to for it was actually for their sales form. So yeah, we implemented something at the start of the year, which is a slightly more advanced version of the template that we've released, just because there's a ton of custom actions in there. And we saw a rise from 7% to 21% informed completion rate, which was super cool to see, and also a really good showcase of Voiceflow. So instead of that traditional form, it's more exciting. People can ask questions back. It's more of a personalized experience, and there's also like a ton of qualification that went on that as well. So instead of having like a multi-step form where you're needing to work in every single step with conditional logic, you can tell the agent what you're looking to do, what the qualification steps are, and it can handle everything. So you're not needing to look at each single use case. It's just handled in one single prompt, which I think is the really exciting thing about this interface and what we're putting out. I think it's just going to make form building for a lot of agencies so much more simple, because if there's any Webflow agencies or Webflow developers tuning in, I'm sure you'll know the pain of trying to build complex multi-step forms natively on Webflow. It's a real pain.
Yeah, I've heard like needing to use like third-party apps to do it. And also, as JC kind of called it in the chat, forms feel a bit antiquated sometimes. Like they're fairly static, they're very linear. So sometimes you might not be collecting everything that the user is actually trying to come across. There definitely are use cases where forms make more sense, but thinking about certain use cases where an AI agent could actually elevate the experience, collect better detail, is definitely an opportunity here. This kind of segues into my next question. Where do you think web experiences are headed?
Well, it's going to be a total guess, as I'm not 100% sure. It seems like things are changing all the time. Like it's only a OpenAI announcement away from being completely flipped on its head again.
So true.
But from my own habits, I find I'm using like ChatGPT way more to like search and find out information. And even with operators, there's been a couple of demos on that. But once that becomes like a bigger thing, and if you're not aware of operators, I'll definitely check out the demo. It's essentially an AI agent that can browse the web for you and complete actions. So you can tell it to go book a reservation at a restaurant, or to find some restaurants and see if there's a slot free at a certain time. They can go ahead and do that. And I definitely see that becoming more like that in my opinion is where it's heading. So even right now, like a lot of our clients are wanting to make sure that they appear in like AI search. If someone was looking for like a real estate agent in a certain location and they're typing it into ChatGPT, that estate agent is going to want to appear in that result. So definitely ensuring that websites are readable, they're crawlable, which is obviously good for general SEO as well, but also in terms of AI. But then in terms of like actual, if someone does land on a website, I think people will be expecting a more personalized experience, and also as ever wanting to get the answer to their question and what they need faster. So making it super simple for someone to say, ask a question, to make things dynamic, to really personalize their experience as well. But yeah, in terms of where it's heading, it's
It's tough to say. Yeah,
really
but I do like your comments.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely more like almost a concierge digital experiences is one that it would be kind of cool. Like you said, personalized, having some like AI search bar even as a start. I like your other call out around like potentially how operators could change things. Like we're seeing a lot more AI agents do custom actions, automations, not just answer FAQ. And then, yeah, definitely that piece around, how to think about adding AI agents into different parts of your site, whether it's chatbot or embedded into, your blog, your support docs and whatnot. If anyone else has predictions on where the web experiences are headed in the chat, drop it in. We're curious to get your thoughts. Cool. And then the last question for you is how are you thinking to service this to your clients? I think we have a lot of agencies in the audience, so this would be a curious question.
For sure. Well, we have a lot of clients ask about AI and how they can like implement AI, and for the vast majority, especially like a small local business, it doesn't quite make sense yet for like a large investment into AI. I would usually recommend they put that into SEO instead, and just like improving their website. But we have built for various clients, like built AI, built Voiceflow into apps or into websites where it makes sense to. But we're definitely going to be offering this template now. We've kind of got it stripped down from the Colossus projects that we built together at Voiceflow into something more manageable and clonable. And I see it really replacing, for instance, like a contact form or a lead form, and just giving like a personalized way that someone can get in touch with the company, potentially ask any questions that they want to ask, and then of course collect their information and for that to become a lead for the company. So we're going to be running a ton of tests. Already highlighted it this week to a few of our clients that are super keen to test it out and run some split tests. So obviously we had really great results with Voiceflow and with you guys, but I'm really interested to see and happy to share my results as well over the next month or so, how it actually works for other industries as well, and what sort of results we're getting.
A follow-up question on that is what you predict as other use cases you see your clients kind of curious about with AI. What are they usually coming to you wanting to solve?
A lot of it is lead generation, just seeing how people can get like an answer that they want. Like if say like it's a mortgage broker, and I've just had this conversation like yesterday, so it's fresh in my head with a
Nice.
mortgage broker. But if someone's coming on and they're interested, like what rates they can get, or they've got general questions about like how much they can borrow, like they're essentially looking for like a mortgage calculator. And to have that as like an AI experience where it just feels like they're talking to someone and they can share their information, and do like a whole heap more. Um,
Mm.
I really do see like every business in the future having their own like dialed in agent that can complete multiple tasks. It's trained up on all the SOPs of that business, all their data, and then they can literally just send a client to it. Obviously, there's some concerns, and why we haven't done a heap of it with clients of it's like giving the wrong information, or just making sure it's like trained up completely and is updated constantly. And a lot of smaller businesses aren't quite ready to make a larger investment into building that, but we have noticed with some larger clients that they are, and there's some really cool stuff that we have built as well on that.
Yeah. I just wanted to add up on stage a few other comments from the chat here.
Awesome.
JP shared, we definitely could foresee a future where my AI agent interacts with your AI agent with no UI or UX. That would be really cool. Agents talking to agents.
Yeah.
And then the other one from Daniel here is voice and video experiences. No more top nav and filters. Websites will be navigated via voice or auto navigate. That would also be a very cool future.
For
Love
sure, for
this.
sure. And even with custom actions, and we've done some playing around with this. We've actually got a demo. It's not quite ready yet. I won't be able to show it in the call today, but the whole website is a voice plus chat interface. And if someone like types in something, or they're looking for like a certain service, then it will just load up maybe like a pre-designed section with that certain service on there as well. So the website will kind of adapt. They stay on one page and the website will adapt based upon what they're looking for, and show them some pre-configured sections if it makes sense to with their query.
Yeah, it's sort of this theme of like AI search, AI personalization, where like we were even chatting about with our marketplace and our templates. Ideally, a user should be able to type in what they're trying to build, maybe their use case, and then we should be able to surface and filter the marketplace based on that. And I think this could be applied to like someone's blog or other resources pages, or if they're a real estate company with property recommendations. So I think there's a huge opportunity there to do something more custom. Love that. Cool. So I think this is a good segue for us to show off what you've built. So let's go into a live demo. For those in the audience, you can actually try this out yourself. So if you go to link.voiceflow.com/webflow, you can play around with the demo. I'm also going to add this overlay on stage. So if you just click that try it now button, you'll get redirected to it. But yeah, why don't we walk through it together, Zach? And I'll have you share screen.
Perfect. So all the elements you see here are built inside of Webflow, and we simply have a script that's kind of controlling the elements and talking back and forth with an agent that's built on Voiceflow. So let's run through. So I can let it know my name. My name is Zach. I'm wanting to build a lead generation form for my web design agency. I can say we're about 10 employees. So here it's asking for my email, and instead of this being like a kind of static kind of form experience where you need to follow it, I could say, I don't feel comfortable giving my email. Tell me more about what you tell me more. So it's very much a dynamic conversation.
Cool.
And it's giving me some information. Probably too much information. We might need to work on that prompt.
Yeah, I haven't got this far.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
So here, do you want a summary of the conversation sent? So from there, using Voiceflow, we can send a summary to the user, but then also trigger and even send the variables that we've collected to like a CRM system. And it's pretty simple, the starter agent, but it can really be customized to do whatever you're looking to do. And even just giving it like a prompt, keep things under like 2 lines. It's not spitting out like a crazy response like we got there.
Yeah, for sure. You could tweak like anything here. Yeah, it's sort of like a really better UI chatbot, really, if you think about it. And you could definitely embed it into a bunch of different experiences. Looks like we do have a question from Daniel Green here, and let's chat through what you could actually do with this type of project. So like, what are some potential use cases that someone might be able to explore? So we talked about how this could replace basically any complex customs form with conditional logic built on Webflow and replace it with an AI agent that you can use on Voiceflow. The best part is with Voiceflow, you can connect it to any tech stack. So for this one, we use Zapier to actually send out the email, but you again could connect it to Airtable, your CRM, other sorts of tech stack that you're already working with. So I have a few use cases that came to mind when I first saw this demo. Lead generation is the obvious one. You can revamp your static demo forms and book a call forms with like interactive experiences. Zach, I know you called out like the calculator before. Like for instance, you could add this to your pricing page, or we've had a demo come up in the community before where they were selling batteries and they added a calculator to people just decide which battery product would be a fit for what they needed to charge. So that's a great example of this type of build. And then kind of in that art of possible, building it into your marketplace or your support doc as a way to recommend or troubleshoot issues that the user is running to, or recommend templates or products to the user. Any other ones that come to mind for you, Zach, that, or if you wanted to double down on any of these 4 I just shared?
Yeah, no others come to mind. Oh, I know there's there's a million and one different possibilities that could be done. Yeah, for instance, even like a personal shopper, say if it's for like an e-commerce website, really having something on page like this brings it to the forefront for the user instead of having it like tucked away in a chat widget. So even like the template that we've released out there, like everything is fully customizable. So you don't need to stick with the same UI. You can really style this up. It could be in a smaller form factor, say on like a product page or a service page, and a user can have like a specific conversation on that page. And yeah, like even building in with Webflow, or say like if something similar was built like a WordPress site or whatever, having it hooked in with like a CMS system, and it can kind of recommend different things. Say if it's like a blog article that would be helpful to
Yeah.
them,
Mm.
or yeah, there's a ton that can be done.
Yeah, so much that can be done here.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So without further ado, let's chat about how it can be done. So do you want to walk through kind of all the components that someone would work through here if they're trying to connect Voiceflow and Webflow?
Yeah, for sure. Let me share my screen. So we would start with the link to access the clonable inside of the Webflow marketplace, and we'll just click clone, and we'll just load this one up. So from here, we can just quickly publish this link here. And we can see all the elements on here are completely visible and editable inside of Webflow. So we have two pages on the clonable. We have the home page where it would run, where we're only showing that thinking state initially. And then if you're wanting to style up anything else, we got all the assets here on the assets page. So we can simply like click on any element and update the styling using Webflow's style panel. So this can be really, really easily duplicated and added to a client project, and you're matching all their colors, all their fonts, and it really feels like a native part of the website, which was a big driving force for us because I don't like embedding things into a website and then it doesn't feel like a native part. The fonts are slightly off, the colors are off, and doing things this way, you've got full control over how things are looking. So once that is cloned, if we just head back to here, we're going to want to sign up for a free Voiceflow account and then copy the Voiceflow agent template. And from here, we can open up the agent. So we kept the agent pretty simple here, simple welcome screen. So this welcome message can be completely customized. You can even put different variants on here. And then the AI agent here is the main thing to go ahead and edit. So you can see here, we've got some simple instructions. So that form that you tried, we've not built like a multi-step thing. It's simply one prompt where we're wanting to understand the user's business, understand the company size, and collect their email. So simply copy and pasting this prompt into ChatGPT and letting it know what your business is about, what you're looking to collect, and it will put together something in a similar format so you can really get this customized. And you can see here we've got some guidelines as well. So things can really be adapted so it's talking exactly like your brand. And if you've not played around with Voiceflow before, you can also add in knowledge base. So you may have some FAQs about your business you can put in, or you can even train it up on your entire site. So super powerful. And once the information is collected, you can see here, so we got a path. So information collected, they provided their email, trigger this. So we can create different paths based upon what's happening. And the LLM or LLM is going to completely control and send people down the right path. And then we've got a simple call to Zapier where it's just posting their name, summary, and email. So then that's going to trigger the email off the back of that. So once you have customized your agent, you simply want to publish it up here. And then once that's published, going to head to interfaces, grab your API key here, and then also your project ID. You'll want to grab the URL where you're looking to run this. So this, if you're importing this into your own site, say you've got a site on Webflow and you've just say copied this page or copied this kind of box which has all the assets into your project, then you just want to put your normal website URL. Once you have all that information, we've actually set up a quick proxy app. So what this is going to do, it's going to hide your API keys on the front end to make sure nothing's exposed and your agent will only work on your site. So no one can like steal your script or something and try run their agent on your site. So it keeps things super secure. Simply adding a new configuration, putting the keys in, putting the domain, we'll go ahead and create a script. And then we can generate that script, simply copy to keyboard, head into our site, head into the page settings, come down, replace the script here. Then we can save, publish again. So any changes that you make Voiceflow will show in the front end as long as you publish it again.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I also dropped the link to the course if anyone wants to follow along. We have videos for each section, Zac's in the videos, and we also have all the templates, the proxy, the clonable, so you can essentially start building this today. Sweet, thanks for sharing that. That's awesome. So just to reiterate, all the pieces that you need for connecting Voiceflow and Webflow is the proxy app, which will generate the script that you then put into your Webflow site, and that helps to connect your Voiceflow agent to your Webflow site. And the 4 steps that Zac just ran through are as follows. So obviously setting up your Webflow agent on the Voiceflow side, connecting that to your actual project. You can then restyle your Voiceflow agent. And then we're also going to go through today how you might be able to customize your agent with Webflow. Cool. So we can then share a few custom actions for inspiration. So yeah, do you want to walk us through what are custom actions and how users might use this?
Yeah, so custom actions will really stretch the chat experience and personalize things. So, for instance, what we've included in the clonable is simple text input and text response and buttons on there as well. But for instance, if you did want to render a form in the chat experience or even have like an embedded calendar, that's where custom actions would come into play. So we can send a custom action from Voiceflow to the front end and let it know, hey, we want this action to take place. So for instance, if a user has asked, hey, I want to book an appointment, we could send a custom action to the front end, display embedded calendar, and then it's going to add that to the chat window. But yeah, we've done like a ton of stuff, like for instance, like file uploads or even like sending progress updates. So if it's like a form experience and now they're talking about their project, they've gone through the intro, we can go ahead and send a progress update to move across to the next stage. If it's on the thank you screen, maybe we'll move across to the next stage. So it's giving that feedback loop to the user.
So why don't we show off some of the custom actions that you've built?
So this is like a chat widget that again is built in Webflow, but fully, yeah. So we can have full control over it. So this right here is what I was talking about, like embedding that calendar inside of the chat experience. And then I think we have another one coming up as well. So yeah, requesting a callback. So that could very easily be done in the chat, but just to show, this is a form built inside of Webflow, and we can call on that custom action to show that form if needed. And we got portfolio as well. So this is a nice slider showing some of the sites that we've built that could go one step further. For instance, if you had like a bank of client testimonials and someone sharing some information about their business, you could have the AI search like your testimonials, find a testimonial that's kind of in line with what the customer is looking to do or would be relevant for them. And then, hey, like based upon your use case, what you're looking to do, why don't you hear what one of our clients said about this? And then you got like a very personalized testimonial, and you could call on a custom action and then put that testimonial in a really nice format inside of the chat.
Love that.
Yeah, and this is fully built, and all the carousel as well. All the elements are fully built inside of Webflow. We're just calling the custom action through Voiceflow to add that to the chat at the right point where it makes sense. Yeah, so this first one here is like an acknowledgement message, which is actually part of the mini course. So we have released this custom action as well. So that's what you see above the main message. So you could use this as some sort of feedback loop throughout the chat. Similar to what you see sometimes on ChatGPT, where it's got something or it's got like a bit of thinking. It could say like, "Oh, thanks for providing that information, Zach," and then it will have like the next segment of the message below. So it provides like a nice call out. So that's a custom action there, and we can go to the next one. And then this a file upload. So this would allow user to upload a file, and then in this version, we've actually got that file upload going straight back to the agent as well, so it can read the file, understand the file. So for instance, like for a recruiter, if someone was to upload their CV, and then for the AI to automatically understand about that candidate and funnel them into the right spot. And then here we got email verification. So we simply had some JavaScript that was just verifying whether the email was legit. And then we're bringing through that that error handling based upon the email.
It couldn't verify your email. Yeah, that's not a correct email.
Yep.
Awesome.
And then this one here is really interesting. So we actually have this on the Voiceflow agent as like the last step before they submit. It's gonna make sure that the AI really understands what they're looking to do. So you can see here, like it's providing a summary, and that summary is actually editable. So if the user felt, oh, this isn't, I want to change something, they can click edit, and then that's going to change that whole field into an editable summary, and then they can add anything or change anything. And then we're also pulling that email address into an input field. So these are both custom actions, and they can really just make sure everything is set and they're happy with everything. Email address is correct before they go ahead and continue.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. The edit function is awesome.
And then, yeah, just a simple link to invite to a call. So again, like just any input, it's a simple button at this stage. And then we did something pretty fun for when that
Confetti.
Yeah, we had a nice confetti animation that was triggered when that call was booked. And then, of course, like a link back home to continue exploring the site if they so wish.
Yeah, ending with a bang there. Love that.
Ending with a bang.
I really, really like seeing those all in action. And yeah, honestly, just from showing all those demos, you can probably get inspired from other ways that you could use this. So yeah, do you want to even share high level how someone might look into building their own custom action that they can add to their own site?
So as part of the course, definitely recommend checking out the course because there's a whole video on this. But I put together like a quick doc, which essentially gives you a template for creating your own custom actions. So this is so you can put the scripts into ChatGPT using like a model like an O1 or O3 mini high. I wouldn't recommend doing it with 4.0, probably bug out. But just a few like important things. So you want to have like a dedicated element for the custom action that we can call upon. Make sure like there's a hidden class on it initially. And data extraction, just some best use cases for kind of putting that in place, and then the goal as well of what you're wanting to do. So what I would recommend if you're not a developer or you don't have a developer on your team, I'm not a developer either, but very fortunate to work with some brilliant developers on our team. But if you are doing it with ChatGPT, I'd recommend putting the script into ChatGPT. So like copy and pasting from the proxy app, putting it in so it can fully understand, and then talking through with the AI on what you're looking to do. And then it will be able to guide you. And you can put in the template as well, just to make sure some of the more crucial bits that you're not needing to work out yourself, and they're kind of in place. Like we've done a lot of the heavy lifting through a bunch of trial and error on best practices when adding a custom action.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. So everything that you just teased there is in the course for anyone who's curious. Yeah, appreciate you, Zach. I'm sure there's a lot of folks in the chat who would appreciate being able to use ChatGPT to wrangle that part. Awesome. So that kind of wraps up our demo and high level how you can build that. Again, follow the course. I just linked it in the chat there, and it has everything you need. But yeah, would love to move into Q&A and tackle some of the questions in chat now. First question from Quarantine: what kind of specific interactions are possible? To what extent can users interact with the website beyond just the UX?
I would say it's up to your own imagination on what's possible. I mean, Webflow's got a pretty extensive API, so if you're wanting it to really interact with the website, or even like take actions on the website that could be done. I mean, you could call on certain elements to appear, but even if it was like to navigate, it could trigger like a link click or something if it made sense.
Yeah.
And with Voiceflow, you can fully train it up on your website data as well. And if you wanted to display that data in a cool format, that could be done too. So even if you had like a carousel with links that people could click on, or say it was they were looking for a certain piece of content, AI could search the content on your website and then display that back to the user.
Yeah, no, I love that. Even like thinking about voice interactions, like I think there was that piece that someone shared in the chat earlier around maybe using voice to navigate your websites. I think there's a lot that you could build here.
For sure.
Sweet. Next question from Abdullah: could you also do this on other web hosting services like Wix, WordPress, Squarespace, etc.?
I don't know if I'd want to try on Wix or Squarespace. I'm not even sure if it'd be possible, just the way that it's
Yeah,
set up, like in terms of building something native. If it was like an embedded app, maybe, because Webflow is very developer friendly, and
for sure.
the way that like classes and IDs are set up, like it's clean HTML, so it's very easy to target through like a JavaScript.
Mhm.
WordPress, I would be interested. I've had a couple of clients actually that are on WordPress that are interested in building something similar. But again, like with how open source WordPress is going to be quite difficult for
Yeah.
us to say release a template for WordPress sites, as some sites might be built with page builders, some might be custom coded, unless it's a plugin, which kind of defeats the point because it won't be customizable.
Mhm.
Uh, I'm not sure. I mean, Webflow has been a great platform for us to be able to build, and also to release something as it's like a closed off ecosystem compared to WordPress.
Yeah,
But
yeah. It
it would
sounds like
definitely be possible to build on WordPress, and even having a look at the HTML structure and looking to recreate that on a WordPress site, then the script should work. Like if you've got the same HTML, same CSS, then it will work as intended.
yeah, for sure. It sounds like Webflow is probably the most scalable and easiest to execute this, especially since we've pretty much pre-built everything. But it does sound like it would be possible on the other platforms, just maybe a bit of sleepless nights, as Jacqueline shares. Sweet. Kind of related to this, I see Webflow has a drag and drop UI approach. On what level can AI be used to generate full pages using Webflow elements?
Mm. Yeah, I know Webflow have released something recently. Makes me a little bit scared, but they released like a website builder with AI. I think it's yeah, I think it's early days with it, but definitely going to be possible. I mean, the bulk of websites are going to be built with AI in the future. It's definitely where the industry is heading. At least to kind of aid with the more time extensive parts of it, I think having a human eye designing is still going to be key in like strategizing. But in terms of like
Sure.
developing a site, I can definitely see AI taking that over and doing it really well in the future. But yeah, it's not something I've played around
Yeah,
with much as of late, or
for
as of
sure. I
now.
think there's a lot of co-pilots that a lot of products, SaaS products are thinking of adding, where you just tell it what you want and it kind of gets you to at least a draft state or a starting point state. But yeah, having the human touch to do something
Yeah.
more custom like this is definitely necessary.
And it's interesting, Lovable was mentioned. So the proxy app that was built was actually built using Lovable. So uh, that's a really awesome tool, really, really exciting. But yeah, Webflow's own options, I'm not so sure on just yet.
Great. Another question we have here is from Varun. Can Voiceflow be used to train people on how to use a new tool, technology, new product that is launched in the market? So definitely yes. We've seen Voiceflow being used for a lot of different internal use cases, like HR bots that you integrate in your Slack. If you have maybe internal support docs or like a training, you could also turn that into an agent experience. Maybe even turn it into like a website agent experience that Zac has shared here. So yes, definitely possible. Zac, have you seen anything out in the wild of this nature?
Not so much, but I'm sure there is tons out there. Like I guess I do see it in software a fair amount. Like I feel that's probably the most common place I see an AI tool is in SaaS. So even in Voiceflow's own tool, you got Tico kind of bedded
Yeah.
in into the app. So
Yeah.
if you have any questions, you can kind of ask, and that's super helpful. I use that all
Yeah.
the time, and yeah, like support docs is I feel that's very easy as well for a lot of companies if they've already got like something like Zendesk where they've got like a whole bunch of
Like
information
tickets and
um,
yeah.
on a tool that it can just be plugged in and it can read from that and answer any queries.
Yeah, 100%. Tico we use internally. It connects to a lot of our systems with like our, obviously our account management and able to pull our users. So yeah, you could build something like this and connect it to your existing tech stack, Zendesk, your core ticketing system, and build something pretty robust. Sweet. Next question here from Daniel is, what is the state of AI in the UK? This is very specific to you, Zac. Are you finding your clients are actively using tools like ChatGPT daily, or is adoption still ramping up? Finding that it's really hard to sell AI based on chatbots/voice agents when clients don't actively use ChatGPT. Yeah, any thoughts on that? It's a great question.
Yeah, it's a really interesting question. I would definitely, yeah, say like some of our older clients, perhaps not so much. I mean, everyone's aware of it, and I think a lot of our clients are using it in a lot of aspects. For instance, even like content production, like if done right, you can really ramp up content getting out, and we've done it for clients as well, or like used AI to kind of aid in that process, and it's worked well. Like we've had a lot of really high ranking articles where the bulk of it's written with AI. And yeah, I think it's going to become more and more. Like I can't remember what company it was, but a company had like added something into their performance reviews where they were kind of seeing how well employees were using AI, and that's part of their performance review because they wanted to see, hey, how can you use this to improve your output. But in terms of like AI in the UK, it's a very hot topic, and I feel most clients aren't aware of how to quite use it in its best format. Um, I would say like I use it for like so much for like strategizing, putting together things, or like even putting together proposals. Like I love it now. I can have like a sales call and I've got like a proposal template and a custom GPT made, and I can plug in the transcript and essentially just talk, and then it can just draft up a proposal for me, and that's just saved so much time. But it's all education
Mhm.
really. I made like a few internal tools. I love making a custom GPT and just sharing it with the team for different use cases to do different things. I don't know if that quite answers your question. It's tough. Like we've got clients, but it's not going to be like a real large sample size of the UK for sure.
For sure. Yeah, it sounds like like show don't tell is really huge. There's still this level of mistrust with using AI and integrating AI. So being able to prepare demos, just really tailored and specific to that client that you're speaking with, is probably a good first step that I've heard, at least for agencies. Kind of in line with that last question, this is a question here around like how to better convince clients that integrating a chatbot or AI agent is worth the price. How to convince people that AI agents are really here to stay. So I guess in terms of when you're communicating with your clients, are there any tips and tricks that you might share?
Yeah, I mean, I never like a pushy sell, and I'll kind of show something, and if a client doesn't particularly want to go for it, then I'm not really gonna push the fact. Like, I would say that AI stuff we do makes up like such a small percentage of like the work that we're doing on a day-to-day basis. Um, but we do a fair amount still, and I would say like it's more the individual. If someone's like more of a disruptor, then they may go for it, but most people are gonna follow suit once they see like the majority doing it. There's gonna be like at the moment we're 2 years in, so it's not a small amount of time, but it's still like really new. Still, like your average local business is not going to be using AI or having AI on their website. But
Mhm.
once everyone starts doing it, then everyone will be doing it.
Yeah,
So um,
100%.
yeah, I've not got like too many tips there, but say
Yeah,
if you do manage to land a client and you're able to get like a decent case study, then that's powerful because then you can say, hey, look what someone else in the industry has done. Look at the results that they're getting. I can do the same for your business. So that becomes like a much more powerful sell rather than trying to sell something without any experience or like any results. So if you're having
yeah,
trouble, and I did this so much when first started the business, like offer stuff for free. Like if you can get a case study and just someone to say yes to you building something for free, and then you're able to take that to other businesses, or you got something to add to your portfolio, you got a case study, and that's cool. Like don't listen to all these people on YouTube saying, "Oh, you can sell this for 5,000, 10,000." Like, yes, you can. But if you're having issue or you're not got any case studies, like don't be afraid to essentially make an upfront investment. It's an investment of
great.
time.
Yeah, I love that. I was just going to call out the portfolio and case studies, probably the best place to start. Like you probably want to find someone who's really bullish on this space and maybe the intersection of the industry that you're going for. So Lucas, in your case, if you're going to target a plumber, maybe find someone who is curious about AI or does use ChatGPT, build a project for them, pitch to them, create a case study out of that project, and use that to potentially reach out to other plumbers or other folks in that niche. So I think that's a great call out on a strategy. Sweet. Last question here from Florian. What are the reasons that Zac decided to use Voiceflow? Is it correct that he's only using it for chatbots in combination with Webflow as opposed to other products? So yeah, do you want to just share more on the thought there and why it works well with Webflow?
Mm. Yeah, well, when first started getting into it, like played around with like a whole bunch of tools, and voice flow just made the most sense for us. Like the development capabilities are really cool. Like the API is great. Like the dialogue API especially, it's exceptional. It's what we built this clonable with. Um, and yeah, the team's responsive, and yeah, it's it just seemed like the best tool out there, and it still does to us to this day as well, which is why we continue to use it.
That was the last question for today. So thanks everyone for dropping those in the chat. I just want to do a wrap up here. And again, call out to if you want to get in contact with Zac, you can check out his website, Southdigital. I can build your next project with Zac. Reach out. He's awesome. So definitely get in contact if you're interested or you're curious. Also, we still have that link floating around if you want to get the course and the free template to what we just shared. So follow along and start building yourself. See how you might be able to use this for your own clients or your own projects moving forward. that's a wrap on today's event. Thank you so much, Zac, for hopping on. And honestly, building this whole thing with you has been really cool to see it evolve from, I remember, just an idea that we had in the office to now being a fully fleshed out course with multiple parts. So thank you so much for that.
My pleasure. Thanks, Kim.